All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So Robert Saleh just wrapped up his pre-practice presser here, and in regards to the final preseason game on Saturday, right, against the New York Giants, it's going to be consistent. The lineup is going to be consistent to what we've seen or what we saw against the Carolina Panthers last week. In other words, no starters, right? The starters will be rested. Now, it does make you ask the question, will a Joe Tippmann be out there? Will McDonald be out there? Two guys that Michael Clemens as well. Some of these players. Well, in the case of Joe Tippmann, he is the starter, but he's just getting all these extra reps. I think he's the only starter, like quote unquote starter that we've seen offensively. Like we've seen Braylon Allen, we've seen Isaiah Davis. I'm expecting both of those guys to really contribute. And same with Malachi Corley. But Joe Tippmann is like the only starting offensive lineman that we've seen so far. And then again, flipping it over to the defensive side, again, Will McDonald, Michael Clemens, and also to like the Lecky Fotus of the world, but Jamie Sherwood. But from top to bottom, this has been a pretty, I would say, maybe safe or conservative preseason as far as the Jets rolling out their starters. And to be honest, it is hard to blame them. Given everybody's age, given the amount of pressure on the team this season, given the amount of injuries that this team has not only just experienced in the past, right? We're talking Robert Saleh's regime here, but we could also talk about, a lot of the guys that they brought in are either dealing with something like a Mike Williams, or they dealt with something a year ago and they just got healthy, right? Tyron Smith was obviously hurt last season. Morgan Moses was hurt last season. So, it is what it is. At the end of the day, the Jets are playing it safe, despite, Robert Saleh saying that the injury, the risk of injury thing, didn't really come into play. Like, this is not why they're starting, or this is not why they're resting them. They're resting them because they feel like they're good to go. They're rested. They want to just prepare for that week one opener against San Francisco on Monday night, of course, and also looking at the overall workload that the team / offense has had so far through camp, in these joint practices and whatnot. So here's the deal, right? Since we're not going to be seeing the majority of the starters here, I want to see Hackett maybe open it up with the third quarterback battle, right? Who's going to be winning that QB3 battle? Martinez, Peasley. We've seen some really good things from both quarterbacks. We've seen some not so good things from both quarterbacks in that second week of preseason. Let's see these guys throw some passes down the field, right? Last week it was just the play calling was just like you just felt like these guys were so handcuffed. Everything was like within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Let's really see some passes where the quarterbacks can just uncork them down the field, right? Let's implement some play actions. Just throw ropes over the middle, throw darts, see what these guys can do. It's a preseason game. It doesn't count. We all know this here. Let's figure out what we have in these two quarterbacks in a preseason setting. I mean, we're seeing a lot of these young quarterbacks, whether it's like a first-round guy, like a Bo Nix or a Caleb Williams, they're not necessarily just unleashing them. The respective coaches aren't just unleashing them, but we're kind of seeing what they can do a little bit, right? I think it was the second or third play, Jaden Daniels threw that massive bomb against the Jets, right? Let's see Peasley get that opportunity. Let's see Martinez get this opportunity, especially if it's just going to be them, right? No Tyrod in this game as well. So I would assume one quarterback gets a half, and let's see what they can do. So that would be my only recommendation as far as this game is concerned, because we're not rolling with the ones. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. The last thing I want to leave off on is that the Jets, like, we have to look like a well-oiled machine on Monday. A part of me is admittedly thinking, what, it might have been nice to see a series or two. This is football. Saul alluded to it, right? These guys can get hurt at any point in time. It's not just restricted to preseason games where injuries happen. To see the starting 5 offensive linemen roll out there, or to see Aaron Rodgers for a series, I think it would have been nice, but hey, you know what? If this is what the Jets want to do, this is what they're going to do. And there's really not much that anybody else can do to change it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.